we believe that the students are well prepared, despite that they've studied in probably the toughest times. But we believe that they are well prepared and that they will pass with flying colors, as we say. We've requested students to always have their masks on, for instance, to ensure that social distance is respected. You've seen in one of the rooms that we just were in, and where we were talking to students, each student is sitting on their own desk. And then to ensure that the rooms are well ventilated, wherever they are seated, making sure that the doors and the windows are all wide open. And like now it has become a habit every time that they come in to ensure that they wash their hands, and there are hand sanitizers in each of the rooms, to make sure that every time they hand their paper, they use it. Every time they touch something, they use it, and so that it almost becomes like second nature to them. Another thing that we've requested all the centers, all the examination centers to do, is to reserve a room that can accommodate any student that doesn't feel well or that shows signs of COVID-19. But also students that might have got infected and that are in home-based care. So those rooms are also availed, and should there be any need to use them, then the students will be directed there. Yesterday we had around 52 students that were in home-based care. But even as we were here, we were told of new cases that have been reported. So the number fluctuates, and one can expect that. All we have to do, or all we need to ensure, is that at least there's that room reserved to make sure that if any of the students is reported to be positive, then they can be taken there and they're given their tests there, their exams there. So we've issued guidelines to ensure that students, or at least the ones that we know that are in home-based care, how they should be catered for. For instance, we've asked that every time they come to the centers to do their tests, they are accompanied by either a parent or a guardian or a relative. And if they go back, the same thing happens. When they come and they're handed over to the head of the center, they're taken directly to the room that was reserved for them. And then another thing is that the supervisors that are now supervising that room, to ensure that there's maximum protection. For instance, making sure that they put on gloves when they're handing the exams or taking them back, the exam papers. And then we're making sure that those tests will be open 10 days later. In 10 days, we know, and we've been guided, that there's no risk of contacting COVID-19 in that case. We have details really that have catered for that, and we've shared that widely. The good thing with these kinds of exams, the national exams, this is something that has been going on for years, and as you can tell, it's not only the Ministry of Education that is involved in this, but there's also security forces that are all around all our centers. So in terms of if any malpractice happens, there are authorities that will ensure that the issue is handled right there and then. It's not the first time. It's probably the first time that we're doing this with COVID-19, but it's not the first time that we're doing this test, and so the experience has shown that these are things that we can deal with, and every time something happens, it is directly dealt with. So So there's the Ministry of Education, there are local government authorities, security forces, like I said. There are, a number of us that are ensuring that everything happens smoothly. In addition to that, there are also health authorities as well to ensure that at least anything to do with COVID-19 is taken care of.